just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
It's finally here. It's finally here. College football is back. We finally made the point with this long summer. We've done so many interviews. We've done so many position breakdowns, so many previews. We've talked about everything this whole offseason, and it is finally week 0. I'm Joe DeLeone here with Sean Anderson on the FCS Football podcast. We're doing our week 0 preview. Sean, you don't seem as excited as I am. How are you doing?
I want you to say what you really mean, which is we've wasted enough time, and now it's on to the good stuff. That's what I want you to
No.
We've wasted enough time.
I am like you actually like watching
garbage.
film, and I like I like.
And now we're on to the good,
garbage.
real stuff.
I had great
we're on to live
conversations
bullets.
with coaches during the offseason. We got
It's
interviews
time for live
with
bullets.
guys that don't usually give interviews, and we had those conversations. We put out some good stuff. I will admit there was a lot of filler crap with the mailbags that we were doing, and I love that our listeners enjoy playing along. By the way, at the end, remind me we got to talk about the thing with Dustin Helton that I sent you, because that was hilarious. We're back though. We're back here for week 0, and expect the normal rhythm of things as soon as the season starts, where we'll do an early week recap. We will try to get a early to midweek preview episode out. We'll be able to have a more realistic schedule and consistent schedule now that Sean is signing up for a 9-to-5 job. Are we allowed to announce that yet?
No,
We
don't announce it yet.
Okay. All right. We will announce it eventually, but we will have a more consistent release schedule. I think after we've gotten into a little bit of a flow, we might do a live mailbag or just a mailbag midweek in general. But stay tuned for that, as things are going to be fun and exhilarating as always. We've got 2 games that we're going to preview on today's show. Those games being Stephen F. Austin versus Jacksonville State and Howard versus Alabama State. Talk a little bit about some of those FCS, FBS matchups that are happening as well. So, Sean, now that games are back, I've already placed my bets for week 0, and I did it at Bet Online. Would you care sharing with our listeners where they can place their bets?
Here's a bet that I didn't take. It did cross my line though. Okay, I said, okay, here's a dog.
I swear to God, if this is a baseball bet, I'm muting you.
I said, here's an underdog bet that could happen just because of percentage wise, but I haven't seen it happen before. Okay, and this was on BetOnline.ag. All right,
okay,
you could go there. And I think it's a week-to-week type bet situation where it's like it's either once or twice a week. Will Joe wear one of his 2 shirts or not? And then I didn't take it this week, and he didn't. He's wearing a different shirt, and I lost I should have taken the bet. It's a good shirt that he's wearing. It's a new shirt that I haven't seen before, and I could have won money, but I didn't. What are you talking about? I saw the line. It was a juicy line, but I couldn't text you, or else my bet might have been compromised.
I wonder if we could.
I don't want to know the boxers I'm betting on. You know, I know you. You're the boxer here. I can't have you throw.
Finish the read.
Whatever. NFL's coming up. We're in the throes of MLB, and then MLB postseason is coming up. And if you were a soccer fan and you like getting disappointed by Manchester City because they're going to tie over the weekend versus a doo-doo team, and all your soccer friends are telling you Manchester City's going to win, and then the odds are better because Manchester City goes down 2-0 or something like that at half, and you're sitting here, okay, cool, or 2-1 at half. You're like, all right, cool, I'll take them. Doesn't pan out, but regardless, most entertained you've been watching soccer. It is what it is. You can go to BetOnline and use the promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. I hate soccer. Always have.
Yeah, Sean, those aren't you. If any of your friends watch soccer, they're not your friends. That's how that works on this.
I live with a guy, Joe. You know Sam, right?
Yeah, Sam's a soccer fan.
On Saturday, Sam will go to an Irish bar and watch. He will meet up with some of his boys that also like soccer. They will go eat a full English breakfast and be back home at noon drunk because they've just been watching the soccer games all morning.
Yeah, nothing like chugging beer and eating beans in the morning and watching
exactly.
Soccer.
I every day. Hey, how were your beans for breakfast, dude? Was that good? Were your beans for breakfast good?
You know what? There has been.
You know what's good at 10 a.m.? A Guinness.
I know. Like I will say a good Guinness does have like a chocolate milky taste to it. You don't agree? It's like chocolate milk going down, man. But you know what I've been seeing tweeted a lot lately
Sure. Let's hear it.
from our fantastic listeners, and I think it's because the season's maybe coming around. Is there's been a lot of tweeting about that breakfast pizza? Do you remember when we were in South Dakota and they were telling us we needed to try the breakfast pizza? I keep seeing the South Dakota folks talking about the
crazy ass place that we went to.
I don't remember. No, it wasn't that place. It wasn't that. But it's like this thing that they do. I don't remember enough of it, and I'm sure we'll get tagged, and there will be an elaborate description of it. But breakfast pizza has been something that has been brought up. I'm losing my mind by the amount of people that are hitting me up before 9 a.m. today.
Like
It is
regular, regular pizza for breakfast.
I don't know
Or
what
is it like
was
an
exactly.
egg pizza type situation?
I think it's
You put bacon and sausage on a pizza, and then maybe a little hash browns, and maybe we're talking with a breakfast pizza there. I don't know what your sauce base would be, but I mean, also regular pizza for breakfast is pretty good. But I'm not starting a new trend by saying that. I've had pizza for breakfast many times, but I'm intrigued to see what the actual breakfast pizza is.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that was incentivized to us for coming on the trip. But we'll see what they serve for breakfast in North Carolina. But
Yeah.
by the way, have we made an official decision on which game we're going to? It sounds like we're being encouraged to go to the October
8th, right?
the homecoming game. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
the 8th or not, but it was the homecoming game.
I'm kind of leaning towards homecoming because there's gonna be a lot of people there. And then I want to get see all the Campbell Camels fans, and then and kind of see them come out in the droves and see how passionate they can really get. Because I know South Dakota State, we got most passionate because it was the marker game. So I'm trying to see Campbell at their most passionate for homecoming.
Yeah, well, I think as of right now, unless there is an unforeseen development, we are going to the homecoming game, which Sean means we gotta book this stuff soon.
Yeah.
So you and I need to get on a call this weekend actually, and we should probably hash that out, as booking things is very fun to do with your
love
friends.
getting on calls, dude.
Yeah, it's part of the business, brother. How else are we gonna book it?
My boy loves getting on calls.
I'm not doing it over text with you. I'm not booking a trip over text with you and miscommunicating. I'm just in like me booking in November and you booking on October, and then we're just scrambling to fix it.
I'm sure. One of us was able to plan an entire trip to Europe by himself and get himself back, and the other person went with his family and then left 3 days early. So
Yes.
So if we're talking about travel plans, I think one of us might have it down.
All right, let's talk about these two games.
Let me mute myself. I'm gonna keep on laughing. You go ahead.
The first one, Stephen F. Austin versus Jacksonville State. We've got a lot of FCS FBS challenges, and technically this one qualifies as an FCS FBS challenge. Jacksonville State is moving up to the FBS. They are playing a mostly FCS schedule, though, this season. So I'm not counting them really as an FCS school. Same thing with Sam Houston. Same thing, James Madison, obviously. If you're moving up, you're gone. You're not an FCS school anymore. But this is still a high-stakes game. This is going to be a competitive game, and it still has recognizable FCS entities competing in it, if that logically makes some sense. Sean, this game though has a lot of names in it. Rich Rodriguez, who has a history of coaching at schools like West Virginia, Arizona, Michigan, is taking over this Jacksonville State program, and they have to deal with a very high-powered offense for Stephen F. Austin, with Xavier Gibson and Trey Self leading that unit.
Look, for the what I read as the FCS Football Kickoff Classic. It's not bad to have SFA out there so we can see Self and Gibson. It's good for the brand. It was good for UCA to have Tyler Hudson and LaJuan Winningham out there just cooking dudes. But regardless, it's good to see some high talent guys out there on the field. And then I don't know. I'm not soft. I don't have a soft spot for Jacksonville State, but it's one of those teams that I think we've been weirdly close to during the show. Like, they've always been in FC estimates. They've always been. They've kind of always
beat
been
Florida
around.
State, so that was a big
huge. I remember we damn near threw a party on the show. Somebody was clanging a bourbon bottle with a pen. I don't remember who was doing that. To makeshift cowbell. I don't know who that was, but look, Jacksonville State has brought us a lot of good moments, and Stephen F. Austin is a team that's looking to bring us more in the future. So we're kind of seeing a new regime, old regime type situation here, which is going to be exciting. And you know what? and this is for the Jacksonville State Stephen F. Austin game and the Howard versus Alabama State game. There's some more breakdown for that Howard Alabama State game that I know Joe has, but I need to see how ESPN is going to handle the coverage of this game. It's an FCS football.
Is it on ESPN?
Both of them should be on ESPN.
I just want to double check. We get attacked for misinformation often because we are the most misinforming FCS football, college football podcast out there.
At least one of these games is on ESPN. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's both of them. Regardless, the national championship game was a disaster for ESPN, in my opinion. It was handled poorly.
Okay, wait. It is on ESPN and it's 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to confirm because I didn't write that down and I don't want to. Again, we very, very often are misinforming.
Look at me.
people.
Come on. How you down this go? Pow! How you doing? Come on. We're right on the money. Come on. Who's in charge? Me or the devil? Ooh, me. Look, 8-ball corner pocket. Come on, just lining up. Bang! How you doing? Come on, no misinformation here today. ESPN needs to not dookie in their britches on this one. They need to not do that because the FCS football championship game, at least in the halftime, all they were talking about was the FBS championship game, and it was not laid out properly. This is the kickoff to college football. Everybody's going to be juiced up, not just FCS fans, but college football fans as well. I know there's FBS week 0 games and all that, but this is the big dog platform. Handle it well, handle it properly. The teams are going to be fine. The teams are going to go out there and play their ball. We know what they can do. All right. Present it well is all I'm going to say. They need to present it well.
Yeah, this is a very exciting game to go into regardless because these are recognizable programs. Stephen F. Austin has been inconsistent, but I would argue that they are in the peak of their competitiveness. Now, I was going to say dominance because they're not like a North Dakota State or a Montana State, but this is a playoff caliber team. And Trey Self, I've said for ages, is a really, really talented quarterback prospect and FCS quarterback. The other name I just want to qualify here, BJ Thompson on defense, who I have not given enough love as an FCS prospect. Ryan is a big fan of him. Ryan Roberts, the co-host for the NFL Draft Prospects Show. BJ Thompson is a twitchy dude, and I'm telling you right now, man, I'm watching him this whole game. He's somebody who could really set the tone defensively in this performance. I don't have any recognizable players on the offensive line for Jacksonville State, and like BJ Thompson again, just such a dominant player. He could very well impact how close this game is if he can get a couple of sacks.
It's going to be really fun to see, and then week 0 along with week 1, here comes Sean's broken record. You ready? All right, let's put it on. All right, special teams. All right, special teams is what's going to win this game, or lose this game, because that is the thing. Huh?
No, I was just going to say special teams hits home a little bit for this game because of the news that came out with the Jacksonville State punter.
Yes, unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
And also for everybody, I don't think we're going to do the mailbag show, but I would stick up for Joe. That is how it would happen. If I saw some stuff like that, it's not going to be tolerated.
But also, you didn't go as the alleged abuse for the Jacksonville State punter is horrible. Sean did also abuse me though, not in the way that the Jacksonville State punter did. But we can't act like Sean was just like going around protecting me.
I was a saint on earth.
Sean was pinning me against walls. Sean was knocking me over.
Not.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Maybe sometimes, maybe like, I don't know, once a practice, twice a practice, I would knock a football out of your hand when I was running to inside zone or inside run. And then I saw you and the punters and everybody just having a good time, and I saw you and it made me sick. So I punched the ball out of your hand.
There were also plenty of verbal exchanges. It's not like
I don't know about cordial. That, Joe. I think you're embellishing a little bit. It was
mutual. It was often initiated by you. And then whenever I was in the bad mood, I was the one initiating.
Here's what I heard when I'm going to 2-minute drill. Hey, let's get a move on, fatty. I'm like, what? I cannot believe you're telling me this right now, Joe. I will put you in the dirt. Hey, nice block, 65. Who's yelling? Who's taunting me? This is
honestly if you like full speed, like did like a pull block on me or like a kick out block on me on the sideline, It would be deserved, and I would hope that it would have gotten caught on film, but it wasn't. Sadly,
Dude,
it wasn't.
you know what I thought about a lot? Rashad and Quadir, whenever I was pulling any of the offensive linemen, at least in practice. In games, they were really good at, taking out the blockers. But there were just a lot of moments where they just started running backwards or running right up the field. They would get chewed out because they didn't want to have to deal with the offensive line block
Yeah.
in camp. Where are we? Are we in
You're
Jacksonville
talking about
State?
you were talking
SFA?
about special teams. We'll
Oh yeah,
we'll
yeah.
wrap up with special teams.
Special teams. Look, there's going to be some errors. There's going to be miscommunications. Whichever team is more detailed in that facet of the game is going to win the game, because in camp you have camp brain, and all you're thinking about is your assignments on offense or defense. And a lot of the times, special teams can go by the wayside. In 2018, when we beat Delaware, what won it for us? Truly, it was a punt return touchdown on a muffed punt by Justice Antrim. That's how Justice Antrim recovered it right in the end zone, walked it in. Here we go. We're up 7. Special teams error by Delaware. That was our first game of the season. Everyone's feeling good. That's how it works. Okay. So special teams, huge component in this game and the Howard Alabama State game.
Yeah, and special teams, always a lot of errors. There's always going to be a lot of mistakes. Whoever is the cleanest in these games is just so important.
I just said that.
I know. I can't reiterate. I can't
just said
reiterate.
that.
I can't reiterate a point that you made. You're talking about special teams. Of
You
course
just
I'm gonna-
reiterated the word reiterate, by the way.
I will reiterate the reiteration of my
Yeah,
reiterate. Okay.
sure.
For this year's MEAC SWAC challenge, last year we had NC Central and Alcorn State, if I remember correctly. That was a fun game to watch, and I enjoyed watching it. We've got another fun matchup, Howard versus Alabama State, 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. This is the first year for Alabama State head coach Eddie Robinson, who is a very highly touted coach coming into this position for very good reason. Notably, big player returning for Alabama State. Ja'Cory Merritt is their top returning rusher. They're replacing last year's top running back, but Ja'Cory Merritt is a name to know. Howard, on the other hand, has a lot of their key offensive players coming back. I think that this is going to be a very offensive-minded game, but Quentin Williams at quarterback returns. He's got his number one target in Antoine Murray, and it also helps that they have a dominant duo at running back, Ian Wheeler and Jarrett Hunter. This is going to be a very aggressive offensive game. I think that, frankly, Sean, Alabama State's going to be doing what they can to play catch up in a way. I think that they need to stay up to speed. You're not going to be able to slow down this group. If you want to win a game like this, you're going to need to match power with power on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, this is interesting because an interesting game because HBCUs are hot right now. They are one of the big talking points of the college football world and the football world. So to have a primetime game, let's get it started off. Let's get some HBCUs playing. Let's see Howard go out there and ball out. Let's see Alabama State go out there and ball out. Alabama State, home of Titus Howard. Come on,
Yes,
now. Good pull by
yes,
Sean
there
Anderson.
you
Come
go.
on, there we go. So that they're not a team that hasn't had star power in the past. Neither is Howard. It's going to be a good, solid matchup, and then it's just going to be about who remembers their playbook the best, who is able to go down there and effectively convert third downs. I'm coach speaking right now, but it is what it is. We're in week 0. This is what it's about. This is where we see which teams took it seriously in camp and which teams didn't. But it's another great platform for HBCUs and college football teams in the FCS level to go out there and promote their team and promote how they operate and how they work as a team and get themselves some exposure, get themselves some more recruits. So it's a big game. It's the first game of the season, but other than that, it is national game. You're going to have more eyes on you. So the best foot you can put forward is it could be a bigger stepping stone for your program than a lot of other schools have in week 1.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be tuning into this one because of the implications on it. You've got two really good teams, and I think Alabama State could very well start themselves off on a very right foot under a new regime with Eddie Robinson Jr. So fun matchup between the two HBCU programs that have some quality players on it. We've got a bunch of other games, and for one of the only times that we can really do this, we can read out all of the games because there's so few of them. Austin Peay's playing Western Kentucky. Idaho State's playing UNLV. Duquesne at Florida State. Morehead State at Mercer. And then Florida A&M at North Carolina. Holy crap. Sean, out of any of these, I have to just point out, I think if anyone's going to come in and just randomly upset an FBS team this week, I think the most likely is Austin Peay at Western Kentucky. Austin Peay, always an underrated FCS program, and Western Kentucky lost all of the dudes last year that made them so freaking good. It was the FCS All-Star team.
Yeah.
Those guys are now gone. Jared Stern's gone. Bailey Zappi, drafted by the New England Patriots. I believe also their head coach is also gone, or at least their offensive coordinator is gone. This is a fresh start for Western Kentucky. Austin Peay might be able to come in and shock them a little bit.
Austin Peay can be. Austin Peay was the week 0 savior of college football during the COVID year, during the pandemic and all that. So, look, Austin Peay is the easy pick. I'm looking at FAMU versus North Carolina. I think FAMU's got some I am blanking, and I should not be blanking because he's a star defensive lineman for Florida A&M, and I am blanking on
Isaiah Land.
That's right. That's exactly who it is. I'm excited for that. No, please. Thank you.
By the way, if Florida A&M wins, I will wear that shirt for the remainder of the season.
I like that. I like that a lot. I will give you zero flack for that. It'll be a big game for Land to go up against ACC team in North Carolina and try to show out. We've seen guys that once they play the ACC team, if they ball out, then they get some recognition. Shout out Isaiah Coulter. Shout out all the other guys that have done such. So it'll be a big game for him. I'll be plugged in. I will actually probably watch a good amount of film of that game just to see how he performed versus North Carolina.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun games again coming up this weekend. But it's one of the few instances where with FCS football, you can tune in to pretty much all of these. So
Yeah.
if you're like me, I'm going to be a fiend. I don't know if I'm going to try to go to the bar to watch some of these games because every time I've tried to, actually, that's not true. Last year I went to a bar and I asked to put on the MEAC SWAC game and they put it on.
Oh.
But in other places, on other weeks, if you try to put on an FCS game, you're shoot away.
You should do a Rusty Ranks bars in LA for which bars will put on FCS football. That's what you should do.
Which bar will put on the obscure game?
Yeah, if you ask for it enough. Okay, this bar I only had to ask 3 times. Okay, this bar I had to cry a little to make sure it got on because I told him my brother was playing on the team. Okay, this bar I did this. Okay, I think that's what you
this bar asked me to leave politely.
Yeah.
This one demanded I exit before they called the police. There were some words exchanged.
Could you imagine New Jersey transfer into California, arrested at the scene outside of a Buffalo Wild Wings as he was demanding.
God, if I went to a Buffalo Wild Wings out here, I deserve to be kicked out. Are you kidding me?
Belligerently screaming about Morehead State versus Mercer. More to come at 7.
God. Sean, favorite segment for everybody.
Okay.
FC estimates. We've only got 3 games we're picking because if everybody knows the rules, we do not pick FBS games. So we're only picking FCS matchups. If you recall last year, I won FC estimates.
Did you? No, I thought I won.
Wait, did you? Who won FC estimates?
I think I won in the spring season, which I know I did. And I believe I also won last year.
No, I won 68-67.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I won.
I don't remember.
You're not good at picking games. There's no way that I lost.
We have to go back and do the math because this is not. I'm looking at the old doc and we didn't finish the tally.
Why would you?
It looks like I won though. If I'm looking,
I don't think you won. I think
I won. Well, we don't pay attention to details or are organized. Let's pick these 3 games though, Sean.
Sure.
Stephen F. Austin versus Jacksonville State. Which way are we going?
As always, I fill in my answers first so Joe can't copy or cheat on me, or cheat off of me. I went with Jacksonville State. Okay. Pull the tape of that.
Stephen F. Austin for me was my pick. I like the boys on offense. Give me Stephen F. Austin. Howard versus Alabama State.
I am selecting the Bison of Howard.
I don't know why that like made me do a dial-up noise in my head, and I couldn't process why you said it like that.
Your pause made me so lose all of my confidence that they were the Howard Bison.
It wasn't that. It was just the way that you said it. I was like, what? But Howard is also my pick. tough sledding for first year head coach, first game, tough matchup to be going into a first game. Morehead State at Mercer.
I am taking Mercer in this matchup on to my soon to be 3-0 start to FC estimates.
I am also going with Mercer. Morehead State, notoriously not a very good football program. Mercer, on the other hand, very competitive. That one is an easy one to pick. Sean, we just want to give a couple quick notes to wrap up the show. First of all, thank you, Sam Herder, for having us on. That was fantastic, and I think we're going to definitely make an effort to have him on. We're just horrendous at scheduling guests. But Sam, really fun conversation that we had with him, and if you missed that show, definitely go check that out.
One of our better joint appearances, I would say. From both of us, I think that we kept the silliness to a minimum. And then Sam was great, way less hack than I thought he was going to be. A little here and there, but not.
What? Come on, he was awesome. It was a nice crossover.
Sam was very nice. He had us on. He invited us. And then so go listen to that show. Follow Sam Herder on Twitter. He is a good source for FCS football information. If you're looking for
real information,
if you're looking for over emotional FCS takes, follow me on Twitter at Sanderson Radio. And if you want kind of an in-between, a little bit of both, follow Joe DeLeone on Twitter at Joe DeLeone.
And hack jokes. And if you want real information, follow Sam Herder.
Craig Haley. And
Craig Haley. The ball is now in the court for FCS Fan Nation to have us on. It has been so long. I have DM'd back and forth with them. Not with them specifically, but with Jamie, who's a very big representative there. Me and Jamie talk all the time. Every time we do a show, he DMs me with stuff that he noticed from the show. I know I appreciate them shouting us out and giving us a little bit of a nudge for the voting for the trip. But come on, guys, when we coming on the show, we want to come on. We've been waiting to come on.
I don't need to go on that show. I don't need to. I don't want to. All right.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna beat the dead horse here. Okay. I'm not gonna beat the dead hacks here.
It's week 0 and you're already coming for heads, man.
They're all hacks.
Let me
see the other shows go 3-0 in their pick'em segments, because we didn't rip that off from anybody ever. We were completely original.
Speaking of causing problems, I had to bring this up, and I know he tried to delete it, but not so fast. We pull receipts out here.
Oh God!
This weekend I think it was this weekend when he posted it, but it was on Saturday. One of the funniest tweets that I've seen from one of our listeners. I don't know if you were as entertained by this, but I was. It took me a second to figure out what he was saying in the tweet, and I started laughing by the absurdity of it. So Dustin Helton tweeted, the Rev. Road construction company left a cold planer where I parked my car. So ... Why not see what I can do with it? And then he posted a nice picture of him. Well, it looks like he's on top of the planer.
You know what, Dustin? Get after it. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
But like,
what's the face he's making?
I don't know. It's just I was laughing so hard. And I wish he kept it up because it's so funny. And I have to bring it up because he deleted it. And I wouldn't have brought it up if he deleted it. But I was laughing so hard that he's like, they put this thing where I park my car. I'm going to climb on top of this thing.
Do you think he went inside and was like, hey, honey, look at this. Look what I did. And then she was like, oh, Dustin, you should take that down. You don't want to cause a controversy.
No, I think like any rational adult, like I know this is going to be me when I'm 40. Like, your 20-year-old brain is like, this is funny. I'm going to post this. And then
I can't wait to see your tweets at 40.
Oh, but I'm not going to I don't think I'm going to take him down because my 20-year-old brain is always going to dominate the 40-year-old brain. But like, I think like any rational adult, he probably was saying to himself, I can't put that up. I have a job. But like, I can't be, posting stuff like that, which is understandable. And I'm sorry for now calling you out, but
I like his little smirk. I kind of do. That's a smirk with some confidence. Hey, look at me. I'm on top of a cold planer. Where are you? What are you doing on your Thursday?
Could it was a Saturday. Could you imagine though? You're sitting there, you're having your morning coffee, and maybe you went out and had a late dinner the night before. You had a lot of wine. And you're sitting there catching up on articles on your phone, and you just look up, and your neighbor's climbing into the cold planer. Honey, what's Dustin doing over there?
What if you see him and then he's climbing on the cold planer, and then you also see him take out his phone to take a picture of him on the cold planer? What's your reaction as a neighbor? Dustin
I'm
rules.
asking.
Dustin Helton rules.
I don't know if he's number one, but top of the power ranking for listeners. That was one of the funniest bits that I've seen.
I'll plug him also at the Rev SFA on Twitter. That Dustin rules.
So let's now encourage our listeners and implement this. We are implementing a challenge. Whoever can climb on top of the most obnoxious piece of machinery. It doesn't need to be public. If you own the machinery, because I know we have some listeners that work on farms. If you are working construction as well, please, I want more pictures like this. I want more of it.
I am going to say I don't approve of this challenge. I don't want to see Colin Sutrick trying to climb a crane. Okay, I don't want to see that happening because he's going to get hurt. He's going to say, "Hey, look at this podcast that encouraged me to do this," and then we're liable.
Colin strikes me as somebody who's afraid of heights. I don't know why.
Oh, you're being hurtful.
What? He just does.
I know why you said that. I know why.
No.
I know why.
No.
You're a
at
hurtful
Joe
person.
DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio. Go climb on machinery that's dangerous. The more dangerous, the better. Hack City. Stay tuned. Subscribe. We've got more coming your way. Sean, anything before?
I was good. You're good. You finish out strong.
All right.
There, big
Drive
man.
safe, everybody. Go FCS football.
Oh, my